Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. We are back again with another live stream. Obviously, I didn't appear yesterday. I'm so sorry for that, but we are back again with a couple of updates. Arsenal have said judge us and judge us at the end of the window, judge us at the end of the transfer window. That really means a lot, really. That's a strong statement from Arsenal. So their message is judge us at the end of the window. What does it mean? We are going to dive into that. Saka back again in training. We are going to discuss that. 8 days to the new season. We are beginning the season this time with Brentford. We are going to talk about that. James Maddison, Lautaro Martinez, 25 million pound price agreed for Joe Willock. We are going to dive into that. We're going to speak a lot. Make sure you do smash a like on the video. Make sure you do subscribe. Today, I've not put a poll. Sorry for that. I was a little bit rushing. I didn't put a poll, but I will have questions that we shall discuss. James Maddison, Lautaro Martinez, Arsenal need to decide, but they are saying judge us at the end of the window. We are going to dive into that, and let's get the party started. Right then, lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Live at 7. I'm late by 5 minutes, but we roll. So we are gonna still discuss the stories that I prepared for you. Make sure you do smash a like on the video. Make sure if you're watching this on replay, make sure you do give me a comment or your thoughts about these stories in the comments below. But if you're watching live, you can use the live chat. It's easy for me to read your thoughts there and actually react to them. So there's a lot to speak about. But what I can confirm as we begin the party is Saka is back in training. A couple of people have been asking me about Saka. He's been really missing out a lot on our preseason game. So Saka is back in training. Obviously, you expect him to have to gather his fitness in 8 days, in a space of 1 week, because we shall be playing Brentford on the 13th of this month. It will be Friday, and Arsenal will begin the season. So, I mean, that's it. So Saka is back in training. Everybody has been asking me. He's okay. He's doesn't have any injuries, and I think he's actually got back from. He's actually stood back from all those nasty messages he received a couple of weeks ago. After the Euros, I think he's become a little bit stronger. The love you guys have shown him. Some people really are good-hearted on social media, and it has been really, really massive. So Saka back in training. Welcome back, my boy. Let's get back to work. So let's speak about James Maddison, because that's the biggest story. And of course, we did report about the first offer that Arsenal made for James Maddison through intermediaries. It was confirmed by Chris Whitley that Arsenal made a player plus cash deal, and that is confirmed. That was rejected. So it looks like Leicester City want their money. It looks like Leicester City want that. I mean, they desperately need that money. They're like, you should give us that money. We need the money. So they rejected the player plus cash deal. Of course, Arsenal, like I reported in the morning, Arsenal had offered a couple of players, including Ainsley, including Getia, including Ainsley and Willock. But we will talk about Joe Willock, because if you watch the video on 90 more that I posted, Arsenal have agreed a 25 million price tag or price fee for Joe Willock with Newcastle. But Newcastle obviously have to wait for the player to make a decision, and that decision should be actually made very, very soon. So before we get into Joe Willock, Arsenal have been reported to make a second bid. Arsenal have been reported to make a second bid for James Maddison. However, this will depend on player sales as well. I will repeat that. Arsenal have made a second bid for James Maddison. However, this will depend on player sales. And now there's another debate. There's another controversy going on. There's another controversy going on, and I'm going to try to let you know of that situation as well. So the article actually is Arsenal have submitted a second cash only bid of around 65 million for Leicester City midfielder James Maddison. AFC plan to use the sale of Joe Willock and other fringe players to fund the deal. Leicester City is seriously considering this offer. Personam's not an issue. Maddison wants to join Arsenal AFC. And there are a couple of there is an update that I've looked at. Not the biggest in terms of reliability. The source, I won't say the source because with the moment I say it, you're gonna jump onto my head. But they're actually suggesting that Leicester City are more convinced now that Arsenal could take James Maddison, and they have started looking around for possible options. If you've seen the Aouar story today early in the morning, it did indicate that Aouar is disappointed in Arsenal's passage for James Maddison. It looks like it is leading somewhere. It looks like there are positive signs. Like Peter O'Rourke said a couple of weeks ago, he said this very, very, very long, very far back. He said there are positive signs. It is not close, but Arsenal do have positive signs for James Maddison there. By that time, Arsenal had not even made an initial offer for Maddison. We actually we had not made it. Now, with the Lautaro Martinez deal becoming a little bit more complicated because Chelsea have actually had an 85 million pound deal rejected, plus Marcus Alonso, and they're not backing. They're not backing down. They are preparing an improved offer that might be very hard for Inter Milan to reject. Now, Inter Milan are saying if we are selling Lukaku, then we retain Lautaro Martinez. And I think it absolutely makes a lot of sense. There is no reason, or the reason could be that because they would make a lot of money by selling both players, one for 70 million euros and the other at 130 million euros. So they could get 200 million by signing both of them. And they could actually raise around 300 million by selling three of their superstars. But if you're Inter Milan, that is not what you want. That is not what you want to do. That is not the direction you want to take. You want to keep some of your best talents. You want to keep some of your best players, so that you defend the title. I don't think they will defend it, but it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting what they do next summer. So with James Maddison, the report says that Arsenal have submitted a cash-only bid without players, and the bid is around, is believed to be around 65 million. Leicester City are seriously considering it, and the sale of Joe Willock is believed to be part of the fundamentals to fund the deal. Like I said, as I was introducing the show, Joe Willock has actually, and this is funny, Joe Willock, Arsenal have actually agreed a 25 million deal for Joe Willock with Newcastle. After a couple, it was so interesting because when I spoke about it on 90 More, we read the article and it was like Arsenal, Mikel Arteta was thinking about using the player. He was in his plans, and watch it turn around. And Joe Willock is now, off the radar, off Arsenal's radar. But with James Maddison now, this gives us a better opportunity, I think. Leicester City might not take the 65 in my case, but they will not bounce it. It will be like if it is true, if it is 100% true, it will be like the Ben White deal. Because if you remember with Ben White, we went in with 40 million. They wanted 50. We went in with 40 million. It was rejected. We went in with 47 million, and it wasn't really rejected in the sense that we're not taking it, but we were, negotiations continued until we were pressed to pay the 50. I think that is what will happen with James Maddison. If Arsenal go in with 65 million pounds, this crazy. I'm speaking 65 million pounds for from Arsenal after we spent 50 million. It's funny, but I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unreal, but not funny. If Arsenal go in with 65, I don't think Leicester City will treat us like trash, because at the end of the day, despite the fact that a couple of clubs and people do have egos, Lyon have their own ego, Dortmund have their own ego, Leicester City have their own ego in terms of selling players, and a couple of other clubs do have their own egos, but the ego can be beaten. I mean, money beats everything. So if we go in with that 65 million, I think Leicester City will listen. And I think what the bid tells Leicester City is you better find a replacement in the next 26 days, because it's not going to be good for you. And I think it's absolutely true. And I think it absolutely makes a lot of sense. If Leicester City actually receive that bid, which I don't think they will, they will take in. They still want the 70, and that's and that's what they do. Look at Chelsea. Look at Manchester United. They had to pay 80 million for Harry Maguire, and they made bids and told Leicester City, call us when you need the money, and Leicester say, call us when you need the player. And at the end of the summer, Manchester United paid 80 million. I think it was money. Was it well spent? I'm not really sure about that, but it was good money for a good player. I think Harry Maguire is one of the best centre backs in the league, at least top 10 centre backs in the league. And now, and the fact that he plays almost 38 games per season, and he is their captain, it adds a lot of value to him. If you want to buy him, you buy him now. I don't think you can pay anything less than 90. For Harry Maguire, I don't think they'll sell him, because they won't have to sell him anywhere. I think for Harry Maguire, that is his ceiling, unless it's time to retire and then it goes back to maybe Leicester City or things like that, probably. But with James Maddison, what Arsenal have to know is we will have to pay that 70 or no deal. Yes, there have been a couple of reports that Leicester City could give us a compromise. That Leicester City could actually think about giving us a compromise, but I don't see the compromise being huge, and that's what I'm talking about. The compromise is not going to be so huge. The compromise is going to be like you're gonna be pay the 70, but maybe 65 or 60 will be guaranteed payments, and the 10 will come in add-ons. Or you can give us 50 million, and then 10 million comes in installments, like the Ben White deal. So with Arsenal now saying judge us at the end of the window, it's created a lot of transfer optimism in the Arsenal fan base. What do they mean? Judge us until the transfer at the end of the window. What does it exactly mean? Does it mean we are gonna bring in many players? Does it mean we're gonna sign Maddison? It means a lot. But what I've seen from Charles Watts, my man, big up my man Charles Watts. Really love that man. He's always spot on. And people, let's smash the like button. Let's get them to 50 right about now. Let's smash that like button to 50 right about now. We shouldn't be very lazy. Let's smash the like button right about now. Let's get them to 50. So Charles Watts has been saying that by the end of this transfer window, and this is from goal.com, Charles Watts is the writer. Let me read for you. It says there is belief at Arsenal they will end the window with more signings, and that a lot of deadwood will be offloaded. Sources at the club continue to plead for patience from the fans, arguing, judge us at the end of the window. Now, I'm going to back them for a minute, and I'm going to screw them for a minute as well. If you look at the Madders deal, James Maddison, that one fits into the picture of judge us until the end of the window, because it's. I told you a quote from Fabrizio Romano last month, and I'll say it again. He said by that time he was speaking about Jadon Sancho, and it was last summer, and he said when clubs are when clubs are negotiating big money moves, when clubs are negotiating multi-million moves, You've got to give them the time. That is what he said. You've got to give them time. So with the James Maddison deal, obviously, like I said, it's always gonna take a lot of talk. It's always gonna take a lot of I don't know how you should say it, but it's always gonna take a lot of conversations. Arsenal never gonna pay that 60 or 70 million up front or quit. They're never gonna pay it. What's gonna happen is if it's 70, they need to discuss a payment structure. They need to agree on the price. Many people, including you people, when we did a poll here on James Maddison, many of you valued him at 60, not 70. Actually, 65, around 65% of you valued James Maddison at 60 million. Leicester City, because they're under no pressure to sell, they value the player at 70 million. What that shows you is Arsenal will have to talk a lot or negotiate or debate a lot with Leicester City to make that price come down. If the price comes down, or whether it comes down, or whether it comes down or it doesn't, it depends. It depends. If it comes down, then we go to the payment structure. How much do you give us upfront? How much do you give us quit? How much do you give us, in installments across what period of time? So it's always gonna take time. And when they say judge us and at the end of the window, they're absolutely right with such deals. If they're gonna sign in James Maddison, they're absolutely right. Why I think the statement judge us until the end of the window is a little bit manipulative to the Arsenal fans is how many days have we spent in the window? I'll count since the end of the season, because for me, I know since until the end of the season, after the end of the season, you can start doing business. But I would say around 50 days or 60 days in this window. We have spent 60 days only thinking and doing transfers. After that Brighton game where Nicola Pepe just destroyed them, the rest was windows. The rest was transfers. The rest was how can Arsenal now bolster their squad by how much debt would we drive out? How many players do we actually appoint? Do we actually add to the squad? And that was it. That was exactly it. So for 60 days, we have actually brought in 3 players. One which was one who was a very expensive defender, 50 million. I think the Nuno Tavares deal took the time it needed, but I think the Albert Samuel Lokonga deal took more time than it needed. Anderlecht said we want 22 million euros, and at the end of that deal, we paid 22 million euros. What exactly were we doing? Why did it take a month for us to sign Albert Samuel Lokonga? Why did it take a month? It wasn't big money. Of course, there were issues of seller, of a sell-on clause, but those are issues that could have been ironed out in less than 2 days. Manchester United signed Rafael Varane in less than they got that agreement in principle for Rafael Varane in less than a fortnight. They had agreed for Rafael Varane. Think about it. I mean, just think about it. By buying Albert Lokonga, you're not buying Jack Grealish, who's 100 million. You're not buying Harry Kane, 160 million. You're buying Albert Lokonga. So I think we've been slow, honestly. And the Athletic have written not the Athletic. Sorry. So sorry, Charles. The Gold.com have written a very interesting piece that I would love to discuss on the next show. And they're trying to dive into why Arsenal have taken a lot of time, and they're trying to give a touch, or to light a brighter touch in how it could end with our transfers. But honestly, we've taken more time on some deals, and in those 60 days, we could have actually driven out more deadwood than we have. Of course, we know we are struggling to move on our players. It's not easy. It's absolutely not easy to find a potential suitor for our deadwood. Xhaka was close to Roma. He died out. The guy has signed a new contract as per Chris Whitley. Lucas Torreira, there is an update on Lucas Torreira today, and Lazio are backing out. Lazio are actually saying we won't do it. We won't be able to do it. We won't be able to do it. So it looks like we're gonna struggle with our deadwood. And it's it's pretty much understandable with the prices in the with the prices and the crisis in the market. It's not an easy market to do business, especially if you're a club like Arsenal that wants to do a lot of business. So judge us until the end of the window. Does that give you some hope? I think it gives you hope. If you're looking at a deal like James Maddison, but it's somehow manipulative. They're trying to tell us, you know what? The time we've spent, don't think about it. Look at what we have, at the end of the window. And look, if they bring in James Maddison, this is funny. If they bring in James Maddison and the likes of Hector Bellerin stay, and the likes of Xhaka stay, and the likes of Siad Kolasinac stay, many Arsenal fans won't mind. Many, like millions of Arsenal fans won't mind, because they'll be carried away by the fact that James Maddison arrives on Arsenal, which would be fantastic news. But if you think about it, Hector Bellerin will still commit the same mistakes he's doing in preseason, giving Tammy Abraham direct assists. Where does that put us? Again, in our pursuit for bigger positions and bigger ambitions. So give us more time. It's a little bit manipulative. Let's speak about James. Let's speak about Houssem Aouar, because I will speak about Houssem Aouar as well in the next uploads. But let's speak about Houssem Aouar transfer frustration. This Sunday morning, I've looked at a couple of articles reporting around Houssem Aouar, but one that has been very interesting is Houssem Aouar has been shocked with Arsenal's interest in James Maddison. And I want to say it's right. I want to say it's wrong. We wanted to get in a central midfielder. Now, what I don't understand until now is whether Arsenal wanted to sign in Aouar as a central midfielder or as an attacking midfielder. We know he's so versatile and he can do both of them. Thanks everybody for hitting that like button. We are moving very, very fast to our target. Let's get them to 100 right about now. Let's get them to 100 likes right about now. Thanks everybody for doing that. Absolutely massively appreciated. Let's do that right about now. Smash the like button to 100 and don't rest until we get the usual target. So Houssem Aouar transfer frustration. Yes, we are making another bid for James Maddison. Yes, it is progressing a little bit as far as we know. And we'll speak about Martinez as well. But with Houssem Aouar, what is going to be very frustrating is we wanted Houssem Aouar just like Manchester United wanted Jadon Sancho last summer. And Arsenal, by signing Houssem Aouar in this summer, Arsenal create themselves a very good excuse that, you know what, last summer he was very expensive. We know that. And the conditions were not very favorable. They wanted, because I still remember Romano saying they want in excess of 70 million euros. They want in excess of 60 million euros. So I think the list they wanted was around 50 or 60 million euros. That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. I mean, we are fans and we want, our clubs to sign in, better players. But at times you do understand, maybe our club was not in that position to get in Houssem Aouar for 60 million euros or 60 million pounds. But now the player is available for less than 31 million euros. And I would say less than 31 million euros, indicating that we could get him between 20 million euros to 30. I'm asking myself, what is taking so long? I mean, what exactly? Because at times we need to ask ourselves these questions. What exactly is Arsenal up to? Why have they not done anything towards this deal? Why isn't there anything about Houssem Aouar at the moment? Is it gonna be part of Hafiz's late night fraudulencia? I would love that. I would love to see on deadline day Howsam Aouar signs and James Maddison, we know it's never going to happen. We know that is not the way it's going to be, right? It's not going to be like that. And I do appreciate everybody who thinks in that way. But I mean, it doesn't make sense for me. It does make sense for me on one side, and on the other it doesn't. Okay, Fabrizio said Arsenal do not want Yves Bissouma because they're looking at a very different kind of midfielder, and that midfielder is in the ranks of let's get this right. That midfielder is in the ranks of Howsam Aouar. They want someone who can play the ball better than Thomas Partey, and we're like, okay, right. We understand what you want. We do understand what you want. Let's hold on a little bit, right? Let's be patient a little bit. But what I don't understand now, and I think I would never understand, is Manuel Locatelli was a priority. Deal is off. There is nothing going on between us and Ruben Neves at the moment. And Howsam Aouar, who could be that that third priority, is nothing. There's nothing going on. Actually, Arsenal are reportedly thinking about getting Bruno Guimaraes if they're going to sign in a central midfielder. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the player must be really frustrated, just like Yves Bissouma. Because I think, I don't know, maybe it could be the factor that Mikel Arteta thinks the player is not committed, committed to playing at Arsenal. That could be the reason, because he's come out and said we won't force anyone to join us, and we won't plead with anyone to join us. We want players who are 100% committed to joining the club. And if you look at the players we've actually brought in, Nuno Tavares, Ben White actually turned down a couple of offers from big and giant clubs just to sign for Arsenal. I'm not bragging. I'm not really bragging. I'm speaking what I was. I'm speaking what what we know at the moment. Ben White turned down a couple of opportunities to join Arsenal, including Chelsea, including Everton. Because now I believe the Chelsea. I believe the Chelsea story. Although of course Fabrizio told us Everton never came close to making a formal offer. But of course Chelsea now going for Jules Koundé. It makes sense that they wanted Ben White. It makes a lot of sense by the fact that they are going to sign in Jules Koundé. So Howsam Aouar, what do you think, people? What exactly went on with why exactly are we not going for Howsam Aouar? He's cheaper. He had a good season last season. He had decent numbers. He's open to the Premier League now, and would be open to playing at Arsenal. Is it that Mikel Arteta thinks the player only wants to use Arsenal as a getaway plan? I think that could be the reason. And Mikel doesn't want that. Mikel doesn't want players to use his club as a getaway plan. You're either signing for us because you want to play for us, or you're not signing for this football club. Thanks, everybody. We hit 120 likes. That is really massive. Let's get them to 150 right about now. Smash that like button. Let's get them to 150 right about now. So with Howsam Aouar, there is that bit of transfer frustration, and it is. It's really funny because Fabrizio told us that the deal actually depends on a couple of deals, on the Locatelli deal and the Ruben Neves deal. These deals are as good as dead at the moment. Why is Howsam Aouar not appearing anywhere? It's crazy. So the player, according to what we know, the players' camp is absolutely disgusted and does not understand why Arsenal have decided to go for James Maddison 60 million rather than Howsam Aouar 20 to 30 million euros. Maybe the logic for me, I think that's the logic I would think about. That is the only reason I would think about that. Mikel thinks the player wants to use us as a getaway, as a getaway car, as a getaway plan, and Mikel doesn't want that. Mikel absolutely doesn't want that. So that is it, people. That is it. Smash that like button, people. 100 and 200 likes is the target. We are moving very close to 150. We need to be there right about now. 10 more likes to do that. Make sure you hit that like button. Right. Joe Willock is another one that has a close deal. Very, very close. Joe Willock. Arsenal have actually agreed a deal, a 25 million deal for Joe Willock to Newcastle. The price has been agreed. Newcastle are willing to pay the 25 million pounds. Actually, my man Charles Watt says the sale of Joe Willock could generate around 20 to 20 million pounds, and he says $28 million. At times he really puts them in dollars, and many people think he's doing it to make the money huge. No, he's because the dollar is widely used. It's easy to calculate. It's easy to convert for many people. So he really doesn't put it in dollars because he wants to increase the money. Not really. So he says the sale of Joe Willock could generate around 20 million pounds, but Newcastle have yet to make a suitable offer. The Northeast outfit favoring an initial loan for the midfielder. That is Charles White's my reliable man. But we've seen, according to 90 Min, that Arsenal and Newcastle have agreed a price which is 25 million pounds for Joe Willock. Now it depends on who you trust. I trust Charles White more. That's funny. But I've done the story on Cossy 90 more. I've broken the story there, and I'm really happy with the reaction. Around we've had around 300 people watching it. So make sure you do subscribe to 90 more. And obviously, I'm gonna be dropping the Arsenal season preview, where Arsenal will finish, why Arsenal will not win the league, why we will not go for why we will not qualify for Champions League. I'm producing that one very, very soon. Should be coming out tomorrow on Cossy 90 more. I will share with you, don't worry, on Cossy's Arsenal podcast. So I'll share with you on both channels. But the rest of the other previews, Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, will be dropping on Cossy 90 more. Make sure you do yourself a service to subscribe down below. Make sure you do subscribe down below. In the comment, in the description, that is my second channel, Cossy 90 more. Obviously, other clubs as well. So, Joe Willock, 25 million pounds. That is where we are at the moment. And the couple of arguments with this one. There are really a couple of arguments. Some people believing the player should stay at Arsenal, and some people believing it should be a loan deal, and others believing he should go. Now, let me be very clear on my position in this one. I think he needs to go. I think it's a good deal for the three parties. I think Arsenal benefits. I think Joe Willock benefits, and I think Newcastle benefit. Look, we want to bring in players, but we also have, we've also got to offload. We don't want to be in a situation like last season where we bring in, players, and actually, we announce the squad and we have excess. So players are paid, but they're outside this squad. It's absolutely, hilarious. I think it was Socrates, was it Socrates who was out of the squad and with Mesut Ozil, if I'm not mistaken, right? That is it. So, in my opinion, what I would think about that is Joe Willock, getting 25 million pounds in Joe Willock is an opportunity. You might look at it as a gamble. Like I was speaking to Glenn last time and told me, what if he doesn't actually shine? So if he goes out on loan and it doesn't shine, nobody gives you the 25 million. If he goes out on loan and shines, you get more money. That is where the gamble is, right? That is where the gamble is. He shines, you get more money. He doesn't shine, you get less than 25. But at the moment, I think our priority is to get in, more experienced players, players that do have that, that urgency, that thirst for winning. Players that want to win every match game, every single game. That is what we are looking at Arsenal Football Club at the moment. And we know we need to sell to buy. Yes, there are a couple of people who are still hard, hard in their hearts. We have the money, Cossy. We don't need to sell. We need to sell. We need to balance the books. It is Arsenal Football Club. We're not in Manchester City. We are Arsenal Football Club, so we need to sell. So if you're gonna fund a 65 million euro bid or 65 million pound there for James Maddison, and you get 25 for Joe Willock, it's good business. So Arsenal, for me, I looked at it, in this way. I don't know if I'm blind or short-sighted. Arsenal get 25 million pounds. They finance any deal they would want to do. Newcastle get their man because they do need him. Honestly, we know that they do need him. He's worked well. He's proven at the club. He's proven under the manager. They would love to bring in a player who's actually done that before. So if they get him, if they do get him, yeah, nice business. It works well, right? It works well. And then Joe Willock as a player, because he holds the key. He actually holds the key to this deal. Joe Willock as a player, what he must look at is his career, right? He scored 8 goals in 14 appearances for them. That is absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely good. No Arsenal midfielder scored. Did we have a midfielder that scored 5 goals, 3 goals last season? Partey didn't score any. Xhaka scored 1. ESR scored, I think, 2. Martin Odegaard around 3 or 2. One against Spurs, one in the Europa League, I think 2 as well. Mohamed El Neni, I think around 2 or 3 last season. So Willock, actually, at the little time spent at Newcastle, outshined every player there. And he outshined every player there and outshined every player at Arsenal in the midfield. But you've got to think about it. You want to be a free roller. You want to play with a lot of freedom. You want to play with a lot of, with a lot of, with your wings spread out, flying. Are you gonna get that? Are you gonna get that at Arsenal? You're not going to get it. You're not going to be the man you want to be. And look, I've already said this and I'll say it again. If a player is good enough for Newcastle, for me, it doesn't justify the fact that they could be good enough for Arsenal. Newcastle is a different club. It has different ambitions. It has different pressure. It has pressure levels. It has different fans. It has everything in different. Everything different. I'm not trying to downgrade them. I think they're awesome as a club, but they're not at our level. They're absolutely not. That's why we signed Partey at 45 and they don't sign Partey at 45. When Arsenal go in the market and look at Thomas Partey, nobody gets shocked apart from the price. But the moment we land Thomas Partey, everybody's like, yeah, Arsenal standard. I think that, it's a good signing for them. Everybody would be shocked. Oh, Newcastle want Partey from Atletico Madrid. So the level at which we are, or at the level at which we want to be, Joe Willock is not the motor, is not the engine that takes us there. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sorry for that. Sorry, you're a very good player. You scored 8 goals in 14 appearances, half a season. You were the star at Newcastle. Fans loved you even when they were not in the pitch. You created a very good rapport with the team. You created a very good rapport with the manager. You could go back there on loan, or even, a permanent deal. So for Joe Willock, I think Arsenal is his ceiling. So if he goes to Newcastle, does well, who knows what might happen? Who knows what might happen? So Joe Willock, that move could actually help us fund the James Maddison deal. 25 million pounds are agreed according to 90 men. But according to Charles, what he says, there is no official offer at the moment from Newcastle. The Magpies would love to do a favoring an initial loan deal for the midfielder. And of course, we do understand your financial situation, Newcastle. Don't worry, we'll think about what we can do for you. Right. Let's dive into Martinez now. We're gonna talk about Lautaro Martinez right about now. People, let's smash the like button to 200 right now. We're at 160. That is really, really brilliant. Let's get them to 200. Let's get them to 200 right about now. Let's get that done right about now. People, smash that like button right about now, people. That really, really, really helps a lot, by the way. It really, really helps me a lot. So let's smash that button. Let's get them to 200. From 160 to 200. I'm waiting for that right on this stream. Right. So let's talk about Lautaro Martinez. I did speak about Lautaro in the first two uploads I made. This on this day in the morning and in the mid morning show, and I said it looks like Arsenal are still, are still. We still have that opportunity, but I don't know whether we will take it. That is the question. We still have the opportunity, but will we take it? That is the question. Will we actually take the opportunity? Because let me try to feed you, what is happening. It's more of the domino effect. So the Martinez deal directly affects the Lukaku deal. The Lukaku deal directly affects our deal. And the Lukaku deal directly affects the Tammy Abraham deal to Arsenal as well. So it's a little bit more of a domino effect. One pushes the other, and the other pushes the other. So literally, one deal, the power of one deal, the power one deal has, is just enough to make or influence the other deal to happen. With Lautaro, what we know at the moment now is Arsenal have not made a serious official offer according to Sky. We have not made a serious official offer. Inter Milan are still waiting for that. Chelsea are preparing a third bid for Romelu Lukaku. Now, if the deal gets done, if they manage to get it done, Arsenal is finished. Martinez, there will be no Martinez. Absolutely. If we get Martinez, Chelsea know there is no Romelu Lukaku. Absolutely. It won't happen. So at the moment, Arsenal need to beat time. I don't think we will beat the time because, like I said, with a 70 million euro deal for Arsenal, takes a lot of time. It would take a lot of negotiation. We're not like Chelsea. You can't believe it. They placed 85 million on the table of Inter Milan plus Marcus Alonso, and the deal was rejected. And they're preparing an improved one. Arsenal, it will take, if we were to do the Martinez deal, it would be close to the end of the window. Because with Arsenal, it always takes a lot of time. It always takes a lot of negotiations and a lot of talks and things like that. So at the moment, if you want to know what's going on with Lautaro Martinez, Arsenal need to make an offer. We're still waiting for that offer. We think it will come in. We don't know if it will come in early enough because Inter Milan are under pressure from Chelsea. And, we know the financial situation they are in. They will have to sell at least one of them. They will have to sell one of them. And I think it's going to be Lukaku. Because, yes, they have said it. We want to sell Lautaro. We want to keep Lukaku. But where is the money? Who's going to give you the money? It's Romelu Lukaku. It's the sale of Romelu Lukaku. So I think, it could be Romelu Lukaku that we see join Chelsea, Lautaro Martinez. Let's wait and see what happens out of there. But at the moment, Arsenal have not yet made a serious offer. So, apart from that, there is a Tomiyasu deal. We have the Tomiyasu deal, right? So according to Corriere dello Sport, Arsenal are now in the picture to sign defender Takehiro Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu's representatives are working day after day to secure a transfer to the Premier League. Now, it's another one of a domino effect. Yeah, this is another one of a domino effect. What we know is it was Spurs that were interested in signing in Takehiro Tomiyasu. It is not known if they wanted him as a right back or they wanted him as a centre back, because the player can actually, we looked at his heat map, he can play both as a right back and he can also play as both as a centre back. But after signing in Christian Romero, I don't think Spurs will go for Takehiro Tomiyasu. I don't think. I mean, it would be, they have Matt Doherty, a right back, and Serge Aurier as well. I don't think they will go for Tomiyasu, or Tomiyasu. I don't think they'll go for him. If Arsenal get Tomiyasu, would he be an upgrade to Hector Bellerin? I've seen him play, and I wasn't really very convinced with this, with his style of football. Not really convinced. He is not the first priority I would go for. Absolutely, he is not the first priority I would go for. I would go with I would go for someone very different. Probably a Max Aarons or a Rido Baku. But again, if it is going with Hector Bellerin in a new season, if it is signing in no one, then I'll go with Tomiyasu. Absolutely, I'll go with Tomiyasu. So that is the update, people. Smash the like button. We're at 180 people. Thanks everybody for doing that. That's absolutely amazing. 180. 20 more likes. Let's smash that to 200 people. 20 more likes to get that to 200. Absolutely, much appreciated. Really, really appreciated. Thanks everybody for doing that. We have a comment from a member, and this is Paul Delane. I hope I pronounce it right. And he says we should definitely get Aouar and Martinez. I think it would actually make sense, because with Martinez around 65 million euros, and then Aouar, that actually revamps Arsenal. That absolutely revamps us. That makes us, supersonic. Fake board, fake Ateta, bunch of failures. This is according to failed Terry. Right? They said give us more time. They said give us more time. So we're still waiting for that, right? We're still waiting for the time, right? Where do we begin? Okay, let's begin here from Pinquero. Yeah, Pinquero. So Pinquero says we need a schema in that midfield. Now that Xhaka is staying, Aouar is a schema. Use Maddison money to get Aouar and Bissouma, so we have a strong base in the midfield. Let Xhaka and Aouar not defend. Thank you so much, my man. Big up, big up to you. He's not the only person that can make B, right? Big up Paul. Hope you're doing well. Okay, right. Akoma says, Cossy, may God help us. This our lovely club. I'm tired of Arsenal rumors. The club says, give us more time. Give us more time. Let us wait until the end of the end of the window. We have 5 more likes away from 200 people. Make that happen, please. Do make that happen. Cossy, why did Arsenal use so many time? Why did Arsenal use so much time in this transfer? I think we have. I mean, nothing has been done, but I think we have a lot of work to do. Absolutely, we have a lot of work to do. I mean, there is no question on that. There's no question on that. The time, according to the amount of work we have to do, the time is justified. The time is justified. My problem is the output, the work we have actually done, doesn't really. It doesn't look like we have. It doesn't really look like we have done enough in the time we are. We are actually asking for. That is my only problem. Absolutely, that is my only problem. But I think apart from that, we have a lot of work to do. So it's moving out the dead wood, bringing in new players. It's a lot of work. It's really, really, really a lot of work, right? So just a minute. Right. So okay, let's see. Emma says, some to Lokonga, but turn down some other options for Arsenal move. This is going to Emma. Arsenal deal is always take longer time before getting concluded. I know that. I absolutely know that. Aouar wanted Champions League football last year, and now he wants to join us, not fully committed. This is according to Mohit. Big up Mohit. Cossy, do you know that I hate high? Let's be true. Always gonna get it, Trav. This is going to Okello. Right. Hope that happens. Arsenal is too slow as well. I mean, we've been like that. He had his opportunity, and he never took it in January. This according to Victor. All right. Okay, right. Look, we have to accept that some players will use Arsenal as a springboard. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I believe we are not going to buy him. This according to Victor. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. With transfers, anything can happen, can it? With transfers, anything can happen. Arsenal is not serious to buy the said players. Maddison and Martinez, they keep dragging their feet till the end of the window. That is Henry. Paya says, wonder why we failed to sign Aouar, but I trust the process. Trust Arteta, guys. Right. Let's trust in your Mikel Arteta. Let's sacrifice for excellence. Let's sacrifice for excellent striker, forward-minded midfielder, and good defensive midfielder as well. All right. Are we going to get a new right back? This is according to Brian. We are linked to Takehiro Tomiyasu. Yeah, we are linked with Takehiro Tomiyasu at the moment. So to answer your question, are we going to sign in a right back? It looks like we might. It looks like we might. Right. Thanks everybody for watching in. I'll speak to you at exactly 9. I'll be making an upload. And we'll speak about more transfer news around Arsenal. Kwaheri for now.